All right, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it for session 57. Ill fated.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're super excited, super pumped. Um, okay, so our session 56. Where did we end? We actually ended a little bit with like getting into Eastmar, just the start of it. After we descended the pass, and then we were in this a little bit of a crossroads. There's not really a particular name for the crossroads here, but they usually refer to it as the Windy Crossroads and the kind of the layman's talk. And so that's really how they distinct things here. This place, this region, even though you all described it as communist, functions on a heavy bartering and a trust system. Um, because we're in it's very nomadic, and the beasts and the monsters are all out to cut. They're all out to get you, and there's not really like a guard per se. Yes, there's dwarven soldiers that come around and patrol and help, but you really have to defend your farm, right? If someone's coming for your cattle, you're picking up the pitchfork in your hand. You're standing your ground.
Well, it's not their farm, Michael.
Yes,
It's
well,
everybody.
It's
so
everybody's.
but
Comrade.
see,
Whoever's
but
there
see
at the
here.
moment's farm.
All right, so let me make it. Let's work on that. So yes, you can build a farm, and it is your farm, but it is the land that you do not own. So if someone came up to you, right, and was a neighboring, let's say they're a neighboring farm, and they say, "Look, I need another half acreage to grow this." Oh my gosh, the lighting is getting absolutely horrendous in my room. It was supposed to be sunny today. It's coming back. Don't worry, it's Oregon. If not, I'll have to put my beam light on. So, what's important? I must turn that on now, actually, because it's just there we go. That's better. Okay, it's all working today. If you need a little bit of acreage, let's say I want to grow some beans and my field was slightly ruined, right? Can I get some acreage of yours? You don't have an argument to say I own the land. You can't do that. Right? You can't say that. But what you say instead, well, this is my farm. I built it and I'm growing there currently. I'm sorry I can't help you. Right? So there's not that level is high trust, right? There is laws of this land. They come down from the Stone Council in Aluda. They actually go through an Inherwick, which is an election-based system where they actually vote on laws. It's very democratic. And they actually have these halls in places of cities and towns. And so these people would have to go to Ford to do their voting because that's where it currently is located. It's just a trek. And so that's that level of what I'm depicting here. Not that there's not, and that's like a lawless place that you can't build a farm and say, I own that. You just don't really own the land. There's not really a value of property that they extend. And so the same person who says, I want to grow the beans, right, on that friend's farm, that friend would be more than welcome if they are able to do it. And that's that level of balance. The places here around the crossroads are just built by people that have come through. And because they don't own the land and they don't currently work it, it's free to use by anybody. And so that was shown with the row, the artisan's row that's here at the Windy Crossroads, that they're kind of going in there and they're using it because the anvil's there, the forge is there, right? All the tools are there. You might as well make use of it. And it's that level of kind of scavenge and resourcefulness that allows the people of Eastmar to flourish. Now there are adventurers. That's how they have the bounties, right? If there's a big monstrous creature, right, they'll put up a bounty, they'll throw some coin at it and say, I need this taken out. Some of those adventurers band together. They form the cohorts of sorts. That is very customary, and they go off and invent, different sorts of quests and things in this land. And there are dwarvish soldiers. And even though Clan Gilgal is exceeding in this capacity far more than they should be, they still have a presence. And if something was to happen inside of this place at the crossroads or of the Windy Courtyard, which is kind of where you're pursuing the present moment, before that we're talking about making armor and such, they actually would go in defense of that. Right? So, double-edged sword. Information-wise, in the recap, Tug, it was the Sirs of Rook. They gave background of how their people deserted kind of a long time ago, allied with kind of the red dragon Thune. They talked about the orcs being united under Ukar. They also talked about kind of how they were made refugees and sort of things, and that's how they kind of said, "Hey, we'll work for you" and whatever. They also described this new faction known as Dragon Pike, and they're loosely as different dragonborn and humanoids that actually attack the dwarfs. They talked about the Grey Bear tribe, also kind of described as the Grey Mato, which is means bear. And the spirit fish, right? That sort of thing. Barbarians, druids. So there's a lot of intricacies here. You want to get involved with it. And we don't necessarily have to. And you can definitely go where you wish and things, but just always that reminder that this information will be presented when you ask. And so we definitely got that. We spoke to Aquina that talked about the Zalnir and the congruence that is there, that there is a sanctuary that these druids have placed in their grove upon the congruence, and that you would either have to convince or remove the druids. And the essence of Aquina, the essence of the dragon there, can be used to actually reignite the bridge. It's that powerful. And they describe that the congruence is where is in Nifendel. And Nifendel is a very magical and mystical forest, home to many cultures and people, and it's grown far outreached than Aquina knows in the previous past. This was millennia ago. So it's most likely still in there. The Nifendel is massive in size now. Tug told of some information on the Ufarim. Telepathic bond was discovered in the Tomb of the Holder. We also met Vasim. We have a date arranged with Vasim.
That's right.
Did we all forget about that?
No.
Smith Vasim. So, exchange for iron stock on all of the Bardi of the War horses, they'd be able to make armor for the four ogres and Tartugan. It'd be plate armor or equivalent of barding for them.
Which they then promptly decided not to do, but Tegan's still on the hook for the date.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I guess for the betterment of the group.
Spread those legs.
Nope, that's not.
He's already been doing that for Tartu again.
That's wild, dude.
Take it back.
That's honestly wild. You just said that.
You called him stepbrother, not me.
I mean, every time you mount him, you do spread your legs, so.
That's those.
This is exactly why we can't have nice things.
Well, it's been
You
fun.
s-
See you next week, everybody.
You started
This is
it.
your fault, yeah.
You did it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dig a hole you're not ready to jump in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How often does Tartugan get stuck in the dryer? Is what I need.
So does that mean we're staying here a whole nother day for Tegan to go on his date tonight?
Are we?
So as we open up the scene, we are still in the Whitney Crossroads here, as it's kind of been described in that layman's terms. Many market, different traders and things flourishing with their wagons, and the row has been presented. Of course, it surrounds the actual crossroads. We have the presence of the dwarfs that have made through. That kind of gave us suspicions that they're inspecting the weapons and armor of the blacksmith to see, hey, don't make these. If you have any iron, we're going to take it from you. And so if I see him being a traveling blacksmith and also being a master in equivalency of rank, they have hidden their iron stock in the back wagon in the back end of the row. The alleys kind of cross through of these stone, red rock, and kind of straw thatched buildings, clay tiled roof at times. And so we ended with deciding we weren't going to make the armor because that would risk it being, some conflict happening here with the dwarves, but also that it would be taken from us and that we really wouldn't have any value of it. This would take some time. So you can't just make this armor immediately. To make 4 sets of this armor would take an equivalent of a day's work. based on the crafting stuff. So 2 hours for every real craft, and so yeah, it would be an effort. And if you were going to be there as well, you'd have to help or do the work yourself, and you know. But you don't have to go on the date with the Seam if you don't want to, forcing you to do anything. But if the Seam is expecting at least a complimentary drink.
Oh, for sure. I'll go for a drink with him. I don't care.
We're just all gonna duck out and leave while he's gone. Like, well,
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
sure
we'll be
he'll
at the
do
Windy
this.
Tower. You can catch up, right? You have the new steed.
Yeah, he does have his steed.
He's pretty. Are you guys gonna leave me here and just have me have a sad? I figured it would be like we're in a booth. That situation where somebody's in a booth and the group of friends is like in the booth, 2 booths down, just like looking
Snickering and looking over at you the whole time.
Yeah. Well, if we do stay and if we're not planning on traveling, I can get a spell done in the meantime. So.
Yeah, so kind of a reminder, it is going to take some time to actually get up to the courtyard based on our time frame right now. If we got on the roads noon, on the hour, we could actually get there by the end of the day. That's how much time it actually takes to get there. But we could also stay here, right, and leave in the morrow. Allow people to do some crafting or downtime stuff if that's what you all want to do. The decision just needs to be made.
I'm down for whatever you guys want to do.
I would vote to leave personally, unless
Yeah,
Tegan really wants his date.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of been of the idea that we're trying to do this as quickly as possible. So
You can also have Vasim come up to the Windy Courtyard as well, if you wish to have
You can
that.
bring him with.
You
We'll
can
tag along.
bring them. Well, not bring with, but they can show up a little bit later in the day, have a dinner or a drink later, or you catch them on your way out, right? You come back through here again if you're in the direction of Ford. Use the road.
If it is meant to be, we'll run into him again.
Right, sometimes you just gotta let him go. See what happens.
Sometimes
You love them, set them free.
Let them set free.
If he'll let me take a rain check, I'll take a rain check to when we come back through.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Are you mounting Tartugan and flying with it?
Oh,
Or
of
are you-
course.
We're gonna see this man get fucking blown out of the sky by the silver
Yes.
dragon, just
Fucking-
eaten.
Giant ballista bolts just gonna come shooting out from the tower. Shish kebab him.
It's already happened once. I'm sure his leg is healed by now, right?
I do have a history of being penetrated.
Oh, why? We're all sorts of.
Or consumed.
don't ever say
Or
we can't have nice things when you're saying shit like that. Like,
I meant by the crossbow bolts and the ballistas, dude.
And
What
the
is
javelins. Remember the javelins from the dwarves? There was like 4 of them.
oh yeah, he was a pincushion.
wrong? Damn.
Keegan, you're the best tank that we have, and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
No one
Nobody
person
takes
party
damage
has
like you.
no damage.
Yeah, how's that pincushion working out for you still? The javelin wound all healed up?
Yeah,
Blacksmith
it's great.
stick scars.
He's literally been a pincushion this entire campaign.
He's just got random
Hasn't
holes
he-
through his arms and shit. He looks like Swiss
hasn't he
cheese,
also
probably.
gotten eaten like twice as well?
At
Yeah.
least.
Mhm.
I also got torn between realities.
Yeah, you've gotten really unlucky.
You've been and seen some shit. So, as we get underway, okay, the ogres are here with us as well. Tug and your cohort of that. A total of 4, so a reminder of that. You mount Tartugan. Tartugan takes it gladly and flies up into the air above the party, circling. But some people are pointing in the direction of it. You notice quite a bit of fear is kind of coming across the crowd as you begin to move on the road. this rocky road that has grass coming through, slightly red rock that penetrates at times, and the hovels of the buildings adorn into a collected mass of kind of a village folk. And so those village folk are all at the side of the roads, various stalls and places along this kind of snaking zigzag switchback as it ascends a large, massive, small mountain turned into kind of a carved plateau, with the center point being that windy tower at the top end. There's many different windmills and also water mills that fit into the aqueduct that surrounds this place and moves through. And sometimes that comes near to the road. It's a fast-moving stream, and a lot of these mills use that to be able to grind grain and other sorts of processing for the trade that they do. And so the crowd is kind of looking at various places, but pointing up towards it. And they might kind of come underneath their stalls and take shelter just in case. And as they look, they don't see like harm is coming to them, and so they poke their heads out and they kind of move. And even like a father runs into the street right in front of you and grabs their little daughter and pulls them aside as they see a dragon flying overhead. As we spend the number of hours here, the noise of the village folk and everything just continues. It doesn't actually stop, it just gets louder and louder, because this is a very dense population of people within Eastmar. It's just on the other side of the pass, and as we know, the Gorn Valley is very populated and dense with their settlements, villages, towns, and cities. And so this is kind of the first coming of any sort of civilization within this nomadic place, and that's where the shelters had. The density of the houses and the kind of protection as well allows them to have anything they really need here. And there's plenty of farmland to support that. And it coats the sides of the rocks, and it's trellised down on the mountainside. And there's also many different vineyards and grain growers and things. And so it's just this kind of mass and culmination of agriculture and people wishing to protect themselves against the monsters that live. So there's I'll make a slight note to this map that we're now on. I've actually had to render the size down of this map because it was way too difficult to load for. I can tell you right now, are having a tough time getting on it. So I've significantly reduced the size of this map and the assets that are used on this, but it still is a big map. There's a lot on it. There's a lot going on it. And so just be aware that you might lag moving your token a little bit. And I've done everything I possibly can to increase the performance on this thing. I don't personally lag on it, but I think that someone who has lower performance might. So it doesn't happen very much with my maps. I try to do the best I can, but this is definitely one of them. So what's in front of you as you mark on the road, it begins to transition to kind of a rockish dirt, right? So these kind of stones becoming smaller, it's just a more entrenched path, and there's a lot of funneling with the stream that's here, that's pushing through the actual dirt and soil and the grass that's kind of coming up, and so it's forming less of a rocky terrain, more muddy at times. Is a palisade wall, roughly 8 or so feet. It's very loose, tied, and nailed at certain times. And then in front of you is not really a gate, it's actually a double door that's fit into the palisade, and it's actually open right now and pulled and tied off to the side of the wall. And it's just something that could be shut and barred to protect this place if necessary, but it's not really a point to defend or a point to have it closed if nothing has happened, right? And then there is a planked bridge that crosses over with signposts and lanterns dangling down, and that crosses over the aqueduct and the stream here that's moving through. And there's many different buildings that are here. There's the pluming of smoke from multiple chimneys from the northern building, which is over here, and that smells of baked goods and other things. It has that wafting of fresh baked bread at all times. And there's this and this one here. You can see the shadows, even though the windows not necessarily you can look through quite yet, because we have the new windows. It's new windows. So you actually have to be next to the windows to see through them. You can see the cloak of shadows moving within, and then you can hear also cheering and sounds of people drinking within. Perhaps it's an alehouse or a pub or a tavern of some kind. There is a grouping of soldiers placed between the two buildings. They are the Clan Gilgal soldiers we know so well. They're armored. They have the symbol of their clan. They are petting a small cat in front of them and talking amongst themselves. Behind them is a courtyard that is beginning to form. There is noises of a mass coming from within. People trading, people drinking. A bard performing and singing on a platform. Further past, an auction is happening. There are other buildings in this space. There is a windmill grinding grain, and there is also a large Moserlig, which is Dwarvish for brewery, that's here. And then, of course, is the Windy Tower, and that has 3 entrances, and they are marked by staircases on the top left side of the map. They are actually depicting just how large the tower is. Now you can see it too. It towers hundreds of feet into the air. The stone bricks are roughly 20 by 20 feet segments. So each slab of brick is about 20 by 20. So it's massive pieces of rock that have been chiseled down, placed. There's no real crenulations to the top of the tower, not really a roof structure per se, but it has accents and things as the brick kind of comes and forms into like a pyramidal-like shape and then pulls itself to. There are also a couple cut-out spots and like wench mechanisms, cranes that are kind of running down elevators to kind of pick up supplies from neighboring areas of the south and the east. But beyond that, there's no real windows in this tower. There's not any sort of way to look into it. It's just solid stone and moss and other, kind of plant life has taken over at times, stained the stone, even with the dust and the whip that kind of comes and happens. There's multiple levels to the tower. The tower is mainly empty. It doesn't have any sort of furnishings in it. It's something that in the notes you can actually look at the journal tab or cycle to the Ismar map. There is a kind of a depiction of what the actual Windy Tower and the history of that kind of goes to. And actually was used as an observation tower to monitor the pass by Clan Randall. And then over time, when it was left dormant, began to be transformed into a large place that's free for travelers, adventurers, farmers, and whoever to reside in, permanently or temporarily. They've outfitted with a kitchen on the 3rd floor and a large dining hall. They serve food there for free. They even have swimming pools in there.
It's a YMCA.
Bathrooms.
The YMCA.
And sorry, it's 10 stone is 10 feet by 10 feet, not 20. So, unpaused. You are free to move your tokens and interact. Do what it is you please.
I think as we approach the tower, I would see if I could find a piece of the stone here, now that we're closer.
Okay. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Gonna kill the person that has this one too.
26. You feel a connection as the tendrils. It's extremely strong, and it seems to come within the courtyard of the tower in that general direction.
Be on your guard. Seems that there is a piece of the stone here, somewhere in the courtyard or the tower.
Because it wasn't for nothing though. What exactly do we intend to do here, aside from look for the stone?
I think we came here with the intention to look for the stone, so I don't know if we have any secondary goals that we spoke about before.
The only secondary goal that I can think of was if we overhear people that are upset with the stupid people that claimed ownership of the democracy instead of earning it,
Yes.
potentially bringing them to our side and beginning to instill discern amongst them. I think that's the word I'm looking
Certainly
for.
sow the seeds of discord everywhere that we go. So
That's the word.
We do a
get
good
the
job.
ways.
Right. Keep your eyes peeled for the stone.
Oh my god, there's an ogre.
It's dope.
I think I would go ahead and land behind everybody and tell Tartugan to go hang out somewhere outside the city limits, and I'll give him a call if I need him.
Sounds wonderful. Step
They're making an entrance.
begins to
I'm gonna
make way.
step around the cat.
Fucking punt the
bother all
cat.
those
Oh, look
people.
at this beautiful kitty. Welcome to the Windy Courtyard. Worth turns and steps forward. What's your business?
We're here for some drink and food, hopefully, and just to take a rest from the road.
All right, then. So, there I was, at the cusp of a dear maiden, as they rode me bareback. Was great.
All right, that was a conversation I need to overhear. All right,
Yeah.
moving on with my life.
I think
Do you think he's talking to the other guard or to the cat?
Probably the cat.
I think Varys is gonna like come stand over here and then just
Okay.
like scan for the
Erwin?
stone. See if
See a
anyone-
nearby trader. As you look, you're scanning for stone. Yeah, make a perception check. Or when you see a trader with some sheeps and lemons. Sheeps! Lemons! Sheeps! Lemons! I was like, we got pulled to the shadow of Lucar. Holds that 11 towards you, Orin. Would you like a lemon, dear sir?
Sure.
Ah,
Oh,
here you
those
are. Throws it to you. And would you care for a sheep?
I do not have the capacity for a sheep at the moment.
Tug steps over, looks towards the sheep, begins to lick their mouth, chops.
Tug, do you want a sheep?
No, Tug is fine. Tug is full,
Okay.
but maybe.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Steps. Trader looks towards
What do
you.
I? Yeah, I was about to say, what do I owe you for the lemon?
What do you have to trade for the lemon?
Coin, of course.
Oh, I'll take your coin. But do you have anything else that might serve my purpose?
I could certainly check.
Perhaps a fresh blade for my scythe. I'm quite useful on the farm.
I don't have a spare blade on me, unfortunately.
Well, I'll take your coin then if you have nothing to trade.
Yeah. How many lemons can I get for 1 gold?
1 gold.
Yes.
Looks towards the cart filled with burlap sacks of lemons. Take the whole cart.
The whole cart.
Maybe just call it a tip. It's fine.
Yeah.
What if I take a sack of lemons?
Sack for a gold.
Sack for 1 gold.
Not a very fair trade for you, but I will accept.
I mean, in this case, you can go get that blade you need.
Very generous of you. Grabs the sack.
And I'll hand over 1 gold and
Hands you the
grab a sack of lemons. I'm gonna write
Side of
that
your-
down. I have a sack of lemons.
You now have common food scraps. You have roughly 50 of them.
Oh snap! Are we gonna become a chef? I don't have to be the one that cooks for you guys no more. Go.
I'm
You don't
the
cook.
chef.
It's called great food and water, dude. I'm always the chef.
Turns
Uh,
around,
I
grabs
cooked
another lemon after
dead
handing the
rodents.
sack, holding the goat. Or sorry, the sheep. Sheep! Lemons! Sheep! Lemons!
Have a good day, sir. I walk away.
You see a couple people representing the Mazerling, a couple tables pitched with drinks, others drinking upon it, even a gold dragonborn sitting there drinking. Them beginning to hand out free samples of tankards. Even as you begin to walk by the cart, grab one of their tankards, and they look towards you. And they offer a tankard towards you. free.
Why, thank you.
A dark chestnut stout for you. Courtesy of Castrog's Muzzling. Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Goes back.
He'll
Begins
take
to
a
refill more.
very
Sorry, you broke up. What?
he'll take a very cautious sip.
Cautious sip. All right, go and make a con save. Just kidding. You take a you take a very generous, a cautious sip. Cautious sip, not generous. And it does taste delicious. It's a nice chestnutty flavor, dark and aromas. Good ale. Whereas your 18 perception is looking for what in particular? Just something that stands out from the crowd? Are you looking for something that catches
Like-
your eye?
Anything that someone could be wearing or like carrying that looks like Thanos' Silverstone.
Okay. So as you're stepping by, I do want to note that these covered areas, it's actually just a covered stabling kind of area filled with sorts of crates, supplies, livestock, and that sort of thing. So it's just kind of protecting them from the elements. It is raining slightly here. As you're looking around, you see a couple of the Throphos. One of the Throphos on a war ram, shifting weight, really doesn't stand out. Everyone else is very commoner. And you set your eyes upon the bard that is currently playing there, dazzling the crowd. They have a purplish vest with silver accents of elvish, standing with a white silken blouse and a plume that steps forward, blonde chest hair rolling over it. They have silver cufflinks of the sleeves that are now pulled back to the elbows. They have tight purplish pantaloons that are tucked into white knit socks and black little shoes with silver accents. They have a backpack and a satchel with other instruments attached, dangling nearby, but they're currently playing their lute. It's a majestic lute. As they're performing it, there's a glimmer of something within the headstock of the lute. It seems silverish, like a stone. As they're playing it, they begin to jam out, singing Master Exploder by Tenacious D. The time! There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think once I see that, Varys will like get closer and really check it out.
All right. See, as they're playing it, the crowd going crazy for it, cheering and moving their hands from left to right as the bard continues to play. Sorry, did not mean to blow your mind, but that shit happens to me all the time. Just keeps going. You're welcome. I also don't want to hit copyright, so if I keep singing, I feel like that'll be a problem.
So yeah, I think whenever I like notice it, I'll if Maldor walks by at any point or Thanos walks by, I'll like tap them on the shoulder and be like, I think the bard has it.
Fucking balls.
There's Tegan. He should be good at talking to this guy.
Do you remember the last time you talked to a bard? He wasn't good at it. Anyway,
What are you
I
guys
figure
talking
figure once he's done with his performance, we can see if we can maybe barter for it or something.
Obviously, we gotta have a fiddling competition.
Does anyone actually know how to play an instrument in this group?
As Tegan approaches,
Oh, I do.
I'll look back at him and say, "We think the bard has a silver stone."
Oh, great. Fucking bards.
Yeah, fucking bards is right. Yes.
Glad this whole group feels the same way about bards. They are rather useless, aren't they?
Yeah. God,
You're telling me.
I've only ever met one useful bard, and it was our court bard. So
They don't even